Hello and welcome back to episode 3 of the Football Podcast, where today we'll be discussing what your clubs are doing during this pandemic. I'm your host, Matthew. Let's introduce the others. Today, alongside me, we have Nathan McElwain.
Hello.
Thomas Keeling.
Hello.
And Will Barham.
Hello.
And we have 2 special appearances today from Mr. Holst.
Good evening, everyone.
And Mr. Carter.
Hello.
So let's get into episode 3. So over the past 2 months, different clubs have been doing different things. So what have your clubs been doing? So Will, you support West Ham. What have your club been doing?
Well, for starters, our captain, Mark Noble, has made a donation to support isolated the vulnerable in Basildon. He's donated $35,000 to provide food and medicine.
That's a very, very good cause there, and also to help the NHS as well. Anything else?
Thomas Souček has made a donation to Wave of Hope, which supports Czech medical workers. And David Moyes has delivered fruit and veg to families in his local area.
Very, very supportive there, that man. I think with the homeless as well in the community, they're really suffering at the moment. I know in London, hotels are giving up loads of free space for hotels, and it's great that football players are giving up their money for those people that are less fortunate than them. Mr. Carter, what have your club been doing, Brighton?
Well, I think Brighton Hove Albion have been pretty vocal on a number of different fronts, but they've they certainly very much for a community club raised over 300,000. Albion has one fund, they call it, and selling over 1,800 tops, NHS home strip tops, supporting the NHS, and spending a lot of time, I think, actually thinking about the community and the impact that any repercussions of not ending this season might have on the local community in terms of jobs and people's livelihoods.
Of course. Very good point there. You know, saying £300,000, and I think overall the clubs around the UK are giving lots and lots of money, which is just amazing. Nathan, Portsmouth, what have your club been doing?
So I've seen a few posts on the website of Portsmouth website that most of the captain-like players have been delivering food to the Portsmouth community area. Tesco have been involved in that as well, because obviously you've got Fratton Park and then there's a massive Tesco's behind it. So they've been sort of merging together, delivering food packages to less fortunate people. So players like Christian Burgess, Cameron McGeehan, Tom Naylor, Ben Close and Craig McGillivray have done all that. I think some other players have been involved. I just can't remember. I can't see their names on the list. But I think little things that players have been doing for maybe down their road or streets. I think Ronan Curtis has been doing stuff along his road and just visiting not homeless people, but people in quarantine by themselves, so that for as lonely as they would be.
And I think that's what it's all about, really, merging together, like you saying, Tesco. And I think these big companies now at this critical time needs to merge together and bring out the best in all of us. You know, we've got really good qualities about us, but if we merge that together, that just makes an amazing sort of community. And in Portsmouth, that really helps. And also with the Portsmouth, you've got the Navy there. So that really helps with those, strong people, and people living around that area have got a really, really strong mind. So, Mr. Holes, you support Everton. What have they been doing?
Well, you talk about the community. I think one of the best things about Liverpool is, the divide is pretty clear, blue and red in the city, and the two teams are the same. But actually, Liverpool's a really strong community. And at times like this, the clubs actually get together quite quickly. And it really they put football to the background and just focus on the football community helping out. So there's actually been quite a lot of joint contact between the two clubs. And I know Jordan Henderson of Liverpool obviously was a large part in the players coming together, wasn't it, and supporting the communities. And I know Everton played a large part and a large role in that as well. So that's really positive. One of the really interesting things that our CEO has done is she's actually joined the government COVID-19 task force. A bit like what you were saying, Matt, about the idea of how can football link with the actual outside world, like the skills these football kind of entrepreneurs have and owners have, and how they can help the small businesses around their areas in more of a strategic manner. You know, if we give these people £20,000, it's a help. It's not going to help them that long. So actually, what can the football clubs do in the bigger picture? So I thought that was a real positive from that point of view. I think one of the stories that touched me the most is that one of the nurses that unfortunately died in the hospitals from COVID-19 was an Evertonian, obviously massive supporter. So Everton did a nice touch and kind of donated a lot of money towards that kind of her funeral costs, and kind of publicised it and posted it and have offered the family quite a lot of support. And I think that's something that money can't buy. And, you know, I'm pretty proud of a club that does that.
Yeah,
I've got the other side of it, Matthew, as well, with sadly one of our players, Moise Keane, breaking the lockdown. And I was quite interested in how the club were going to deal with him, and were they going to be strict enough on him.
Of course, and you've got to play that role of good and bad in the club as well. So very good point there in saying about the community and coming round together, having a strong community in the background and putting football aside for the moment and maybe returning in the meantime. And on that point, I just saw a post on Instagram with Sky Support saying that football might return in the near future, which is a real good positive for those fans that really enjoy football, and that could make sure that they return. Now, Tom, with football, do you think that it will return behind closed doors, or will it be open to, you know, big supporters of the club who put loads of money into it?
I think they will try and put it behind closed doors, with just trying to, you know, put a season where the least amount of people can be put in danger as possible.
Right, okay. Yeah, very discussing there about the return of football. Really, really good point there as well. So that concludes the third episode of our podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Stay home, stay safe, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.